Okay, cool. This is recording now. And
Wait,
so
so let's just stop saying the N-word.
yes, please. I'll start saying it now. Um Hello. Welcome back. This is the third episode of Good Kid Bad Parents. I have my esteemed guest Bradley Loggins here with me today.
Hello.
Yes. Wow. That's about as serious as this is going to be. We are drinking wine on the porch this time. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
We've already been drinking, so we've already cheersed. We don't need to do it again.
Leisure, sex, sophistication. Yes.
But yeah, so this is to be pretty chill, pretty fun. It'll be silly. At some point, if you need, we can take a break. But let's just kind of hop into this. I have some questions here. So, okay. All right. So, is there a specific memory or moment that you remember realizing your parents were not good?
Dude, one of my earliest memories. I don't remember what exactly is going on. I know there's an argument in the house. I'm alone in my childhood bedroom, just thinking this is probably like one of my earliest panic attacks, where I'm thinking to myself, if I want to be like a healthy adult, if I want to be happy in the future, I need to be the opposite of my parents and the people around me.
Wow.
This is my earliest thought.
Whoa. How old were you?
I have no idea. I know I was like
29.
right next year. I was probably like 3 or 4 years old.
Wow.
Before this is really one of the earliest memories I remember.
And what was it that was making you think that? Was your dad gay or something?
I just remember them yelling. I just know that there was an argument happening, and I was like, if I want to be happy when I'm older,
Yeah.
I can't be anything like the people I'm around.
Okay. Do you remember what they were arguing about?
No, it was never anything important.
Okay.
I remember there was a lot of arguments, never anything real.
So from then on, do you feel like you were kind of checked out as a kid in a way? Like, what I mean is, your parents are arguing or whatnot, and you're just like, I'm not.
I knew not to worry. Well, I would still worry,
Okay, yeah.
but I would be more just like, get away.
Yeah.
It was more of a get away from this.
That's so. That is deeply troubling, but it is.
Dude, yeah, this was like the first 10 seconds of the pod.
It is so fun.
My earliest memories was escape now.
Dude, you kind of woke up like Matrix style.
Yeah, no, it was
when you're like, I believe I have to.
I knew like growing up. I remember this memory's been remembered so many times. It's like distorted.
Yeah.
So like I have no idea what was actually happening. I just know I was in.
It's like distorted where you have like big Hulk hands.
Yeah, I was just in the first house.
Yeah.
Like you can't trust any of these people. Like if you can't do it, like you can't be like, which is kind of wrong. Looking back now, it's mostly just like that was just my father. Whereas like my mom is actually a good person. She was just fighting someone else.
Yeah.
And right.
But she did choose your father.
Sure, she got pregnant.
Yeah.
She got pregnant and married.
Yeah. No, that was a joke, but I do remember I used to work at the climbing gym, and weirdly, there was one like red pill men's rights guy who worked there too.
Mm-hmm.
Of all places, a climbing gym.
That's on point. I don't know why you say of all places.
This
is a very midlife crisis gym.
Yeah, well, he was working there. No, he was like, I'm 20 at the time. He's like 29.
Oh, okay.
And this is 10 years ago. So this is before like red pill really had like its like thing. It was just kind of like,
they've been here.
but yeah, they've been here, but it wasn't. I don't think that the like title of like red pill was around at the time. It was just him being like, you want me to tell you how it really is? Like, that's how it was. They weren't like, oh, here's my title, here's what I am.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, I know how women are, Deb. And I bring this up to say that at one point it was just me and him at the gym, right? Just nightmare shift. And he is asking me questions about like, me and stuff or whatever. And then I say like, oh, well, I had like a rough childhood and, I'm 20. I just left my home. So I'm like still processing it myself. And so he asked actually to hear it. And I explained like what all happened. I didn't have a dad. My mom was like really rough on us and stuff. And then he goes, well, you know what you should do is you should message your mom and ask her for an apology for making your dad leave.
Oh,
That-
no.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. Even at the height of me being like, my mom is the worst person I've ever met. I don't like her. Like the height of those emotions.
Right.
He said that and I went, geez, lay off her, man. She's just a person. Yeah. I can't blame her for everything.
That's crazy. No, you're talking about red pill before red pill. That's my father completely. That's
Really?
so much it because like I said, my mom's like a good person. She's only recently been sober, so like a good person addicted to drugs is still fucked up.
Yeah.
But like growing up, my dad was just so red pilled. I can't think of an actual. I mean, just talking shit, just thinking he knows things about women. Just one of those types where he's like giving me advice and I'm like 12, like, you're actually wrong. You don't, I'm like, I'm 12, but you don't understand women.
And then now as an adult, are you thinking back and you're like, God damn, he was right.
No.
Yeah, of course not.
No, I mean, he would give me like strange, like sex advice.
Yeah.
Like growing up.
You're 12?
So probably started at like 16.
Wow.
He starts giving me like weird, like, if you like exercise this way, it makes you better at sex. And I'm just like, I'm fat. Just like weird stuff. Like, I don't know.
That's his way of trying to get you to lose weight.
Right.
He's like,
If you do crunches, like what does it mean?
and then he's like, you might get, and then you're like, no, I'd rather have Cheetos.
Because I remember getting into college when I was like in like freshman year, I was running a bunch.
Okay.
I graduated high school. Well, got expelled from high school at 300 pounds.
Okay.
300 pounds, but when first, like within my first year of college, I got down to like 160.
Whoa.
Because I was running like I have a panic disorder, but like back then I was medicating through running, and so I would run in between every single like activity of my college day. I would run a mile in between. I would wake up in the morning, run a mile, eat breakfast, run a mile, go to class, run a mile, study, run another mile, and I was like just running constantly because I was stressed as hell. I was so stressed. In college, I was like the first year my mom was in jail after my mom got arrested. And so I was just like losing my absolute mind. And I remember going to my dad's and he'd like seen me like become half of a person, like half my size. And he's like, yeah, you know that running, it's gonna make you great at sex. I'm just like, what are you talking about?
I like how this is a clear scream for help. And where he's just, you're going to get laid.
I'm serious. Like I have a crazy eating disorder and I'm running I'm running too much. I'm clearly having a fucking a episode.
Wow.
And he's just like, got that dick on you.
Dude, also the way you were explaining it of like, I would eat, run, go to class, run, snap, run. Dude, it sounds like one of those, that guy who's like, I have 34 hours in like a 7-hour period type thing.
You have one day in 24 hours. I break it up in two. 12 to 12, that's day one. 12 to 12, that's day two. Taking over a month, you're dead.
It's that guy, but just running where he's like, I could actually get marathons in between my day.
It was crazy. Like, cause I've like really fallen off on eating and like exercise because it was so crazy. Because it was so crazy at that time. But like it was like I got to the point where I would just run until I was bored. But then like the panic attacks would just last forever because I never got tired.
Dude.
Because it got to the point where I could run till I was bored and the panic attacks would put me to sleep before that. But then I was just like, I don't get tired anymore because I was like fucking 23. I was 23, able to run until forever
Yeah.
with a serious panic disorder because everything fucking, I stress over anything.
Whoa. Yeah. Like even like grocery shopping of like, do I go name brand? Do I go generic? You'd be like, I got to run a mile in this.
I have to run a mile. I gotta have to. I still kind of, when I get back in and running is my main exercise. I still do pretty well. Even at this, I can run a mile still.
Yeah.
Even as my fat self.
I'm sure that it's in there. I mean, you did it. You just gotta, in a way, some people enter the zone. You enter the panic zone.
Dude, it's ingrained in me.
Yeah.
Ingrained in me. Anxiety is like my main characteristic. And I'm not proud of that. But
I would say I don't think that. I think your main characteristic to me is your mustache. Yeah. I think of the mustache first.
I hide behind my mustache.
Every man with a mustache has a panic disorder.
Right. That's why we keep shooting people.
Cool. That was crazy, dude. Do you have any? So that, I mean, like that clearly is like, to me, sounds like you have an addictive personality, at least.
Definitely.
Of that. If something's going wrong, you're like, I must supplement it with this different thing. So running. And I assume you always knew, like, don't ever do drugs.
Right. No, I was very scared of drugs growing up because of like my household. My parents got divorced young. My dad was a big drinker, and then my mom had like a meth problem.
Yeah.
You know?
What was it?
Silly little meth problem.
Yeah.
And so like I was 18 when I smoked weed for the first time, but all my friends growing up smoked weed. I was hanging out with like stoners in middle school and I stayed with them through high school, smoked with them the first time, but like it was years of just hanging out with stoners
and not smoking
or drinking because I was just like, this is bad.
Yeah.
I was very scared of that.
That's crazy, man. And then, did they ever go any harder than that? Or were they all just like, no, we're actually chill with weed?
Some of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of them did crack.
Wow.
Some of them did crack. Some of them, I don't think none of my friends are dead.
Well, was it scary when a friend was like, yeah, I smoked crack?
No, I almost did crack with them.
What?
The friend that did crack, if we had just found crack at the right time, I would have done crack with them.
Why?
Whenever. So like up until then it was scary. But then once I started smoking weed, also things got much worse. My mom really held it together financially with her addiction until like junior year of high school.
Okay.
And then at that point I was paying the bills.
Wow.
And then, I'm not home. I have the car.
Yeah.
It's my car. I'm out doing whatever I want.
Yeah, who wouldn't take a relaxing hit of crack?
Dude, I wasn't against the thought of trying at 18.
That's crazy, man. That's where this podcast is kind of in a way to help other people at the same time who had bad parents be like, my parents didn't love me. And then it's like,
my mom loved the fuck out of me. Yeah. She just also loves meth. Yeah, I talked about this all the time. You can love more than one thing.
Yeah, two things can be true.
Right, yeah, no.
The therapy teaches. And so this is where, for me, it's like, yeah, my mom was like bad, but she wasn't addicted to drugs or alcohol or anything like that. We were fine. She was just kind of mean, And so that's where, as somebody, hey, what's up?
No.
Yeah, she was just kind of mean. So it's like, that's honestly fine. If she was mean and on meth,
no, my mom was on meth, but cool as hell.
Yeah,
a lovely woman. Now that she's sober, A+ mom.
Nice.
It's just I'm a grown man now. I was a child.
Yeah,
back then. No, she could be on meth now. I don't live with her.
Here's the thing. I think a meth head hearing you say like, oh, I was running a mile after every activity I did. Somebody who's actively on meth would be like, that is the solution.
That right.
That sounds exactly like what I see.
That's I talk so much in stand up about my mother, but like she was the good one.
Yeah.
She was so like she did like have all these issues, but like she was still the whole time a very loving individual. She just spent a lot of our money on drugs and sometimes sold her things to pay the bills or buy drugs.
Hey, and
The panic disorder didn't come from her, mostly.
does it come from your dad?
Yeah, no, that guy, he was just violent. He was a violent drunk. But so I don't talk about him on stage doing stand up because there's nothing really funny there.
We can try.
You can try. It's mostly just like.
I think part of it is that I think also it is coming to terms with the emotion of it, of like, that did suck. It does suck that he was like a violent drunk and just like not a good guy. But then it's like, in a way, then being like, I fully accept that, and I feel like I've like really just like worked through it, of like, it's fine that loss happened. And then through the acceptance is where you can then, like, in a way, step through almost like a new threshold, and then be like, now that that's passed, I can look back at it and be like, oh, it is funny.
Right. And I've got some material. I don't know if this is really necessarily a stand-up podcast, but I have some jokes about him
It will be.
where it's like little funny things, like the way he acted about baseball and sports.
Okay.
Whereas like with my mom, there's whole like just chunks of material
Yeah.
because the whole time she was a good, funny. Like this is light for me. Whereas
Yeah.
the other material from my dad's is like, oh yeah, you want to be some abusive asshole.
Yeah, I think it's because your mom was trying and still being like,
Right. There's a good message. It's like fun.
I think a listener can, be like, oh, that's really heartbreaking. But as a comedian, it also is really funny that someone is like being a nurturing mom while holding a meth pipe.
Right.
Like, that is funny for her to be like, no, stop, don't.
I'm finding syringes like I didn't know mom was diabetic.
Yeah. But it's like, it's funny, the idea of like, was she like kind of attentive around,
For the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part. She was around enough. There was like that like end of high school, things started getting really bad. People started dying. And like my brother started getting crazy. And so it became very hard for her emotionally to deal with things while also dealing with a meth addiction.
Yeah.
Like,
It's crazy how she was able to hold down a job.
yeah, she was a nurse. She had like a good job as a nurse, and she has it back now again.
Honestly, that is like Sisyphus level impressive effort to have a job as a nurse, a meth addiction, and 2 children.
Right. Well, 3, but my sister ran away at a young age, so.
Does she ever come back?
Not to the house.
Okay.
She's around now. Me and my sister have a very good relationship.
How old
now.
so what's the order of the parents, by the way, or the kids, by the way?
My sister is 30. I'm 28. My brother is 26. So 2 years separated each of us.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And my dad has a new daughter with a different mother that is like.
Yeah, but your mom doesn't need to worry about it.
I don't know that one.
Still,
I don't even talk to that one.
Thinking about like your mom. So you're
Right.
Your sister runs away, I assume. To
In middle school,
like
when I was in middle school, we were homeless for a little while.
okay.
We lived with one of my mom's friends. She didn't stay there, but me and my siblings did. Once my mom got a new house, she started renting somewhere. Me and my brother moved in with her.
Mhm.
My sister stayed with her friend
Okay.
because she was friends with the daughter of my mom's friends.
Yeah, so staying with a family.
She started staying with them until she graduated high school and went to college. And so when I was in middle school, that was the last me and my sister lived together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few times where at my high school, I didn't live with my friend's family until college. But so through high school, I was living at my home. But I had a friend, Francisco, in my chemistry class. And he was like, oh, yeah, my best friend, Ethan, he's living with my family. And then I remember hearing that as a 16, 17-year-old and being like, something's up with
Right.
in his family.
No, through 6th and 7th grade, I was sleeping on someone else's couch.
Yeah.
That's also when I learned to read. Before that, I like could not read. I then, something about being homeless and having nowhere to go. I started reading Percy Jackson books.
That was like your own little like, I don't know, this might be the wrong reference, but like Goodwill Hunting or something like that, or like like, like you're just like, oh, I can read, and then like by the end you're like writing a novella.
No, I got very like I went from being like a failing student that would like be proud of having D's to like in the seventh grade being just a straight A student because I all of a sudden learned how to fucking read.
Here's the thing is that a lot of the stories that they say of like kids who grew up without an education, when they get it when they're older, they like are voracious and like ravenous readers and stuff like that. And so I find it funny that you did learn to read at like sixth grade, and then you just became a stand-up comic.
Right. I went to college.
Yeah.
I got expelled from high school, got a GED, went to college, then COVID happened and dropped out.
You got expelled?
Yeah.
What happened there?
We were moving houses. I lived in Eatonton, Georgia. I lived in every street in that damn city
Wow.
because we would just move every year or so.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
paranoia.
right. So we kept moving. We get evicted or whatever. We move out. And then so one day it's second semester senior year. We're moving across the city, across the county or whatever. And I'm not supposed to go to school that day. I'm supposed to go set up the water bill, set up the water and electricity that day. But I have a social studies quiz, so I pack up in my car. I go to school, and I get there a little late. Go to like show up at lunch.
Yeah.
And the school locks down for like a drug search. They bring the dogs in. They sniff everybody's like lockers and cars. And they smell in my car weed paraphernalia. There was no weed. It was just like a bowl that my brother's bowl, one of my mom's bowls.
Wow.
Then like they found a kitchen scale as well because I was fucking moving the kitchen stuff, and so they got me for trafficking. I got expelled. I was the president. I was the head writer of the yearbook, the president of HOSA, drum major of the marching band. I had some position in fucking ROTC. During that drug search was it was a HOSA meeting. So my club that I was president of spent that meeting watching their president get arrested because it was like they could see the parking lot through the window, so I could see all my people watch their president get fucking handcuffed and put in the back of a cop car.
Wow.
And that was the last day of high school.
And someone in the class stood up and said, "Not my president." Dude, that's crazy. That I guarantee the people who didn't hear that story were like, wow, it's always the people you least expect, but they don't have the context of that you're surviving this.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that I was basically living in that car, like I wasn't going home. I was president of all these clubs because I didn't want to go home.
And you're literally hanging out with, they're like, he's always hanging out with stoners. And then you're like,
well, the stoners I was hanging out with were also like top of the class. These are smart stoners.
But everything is against you.
No,
in this
dude,
story.
in school it was bad. No, everything was against me in school for not.
This story specifically, it's like, you could be like, no, I was moving the thing, and then it's like,
it wasn't even my stuff.
Yeah, and then
it wasn't even my stuff. I didn't know it was in the box. I just fucking went to school.
Yeah, and then they're just like, oh, it's the people you least expect, and also he always hangs out with stoners. It's like none of you have the context,
yeah,
for who I am.
There's no electricity at home.
Yeah,
right?
Dude. Oh my god, my house in December, I think at least 2 years in a row, we didn't have heat. So, not just like December, but like for the winter, basically, we didn't have heat, like no gas or anything like that. So in my house, Canton, Georgia, average temperature would be like 50, 55, just inside the house, because the heat was gone for like a month. So it's almost like a cave where it just kind of becomes the like stable temperature, because if you go in a cave, it's always that temperature year round, and that's basically what my house was. Of just like it's always 55 in the house. Yeah, so you gotta we'd come home and you just put on more clothes.
Did you guys move a lot? Did you guys have the same house?
We stayed in the
same house the whole time for the most part, or forever?
all of my kindergarten through senior high school. We stayed in the same
Oh,
house.
wow.
We were in the same house, but every month my mom would scream at us, be like, I don't have any money. We're going to lose a house.
Every month
Every month.
for 8 years.
For 13 years. For 13 years, pretty much every month, my mom would be like, we're going to lose the house. We're going to get evicted. We're going to live on the street. And then, so then she'd be like, Jacob, you need to do stuff to get money. And so then I'd be like, okay. And so then, like fundraiser type stuff would be a thing, like, as well.
Fundraiser stuff?
Yeah, like if I had a school fundraiser.
Would you just steal?
Yeah, whatever I was selling, my mom would be like, give me that.
Dude, wait, you so for the fundraiser, you stole also? I stole.
I didn't steal the stuff. It's just whatever order it was, is that my mom would just take that money.
Yeah, you just want to turn that one in.
Yeah.
I had two different. Whenever we had a fundraiser, I would have two different fundraiser packets. And if you paid with check or credit card, you go on the one that you get the things.
Yeah.
But people could pay with cash.
Yeah, people who paid cash did not get their thing.
You did not get your thing. You signed up on a different paper that never got turned into the school.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was so good at this. Oh,
Yeah.
I talked to Jason Holsey about this once. He was like, "That's the craziest thing ever." I'm like, "Dude, I figured this out so early."
No, but so I had a neighbor who ordered check, and we got them their stuff. But then anybody who paid cash did not get their stuff.
No, you didn't. It was so easy to steal.
My mom also one time, so one of those Christmases that my mom was like, we don't have money for any gifts or anything like that. My mom was trying to like give I will say, my mom really did try to give us good Christmases. That was like a big thing for her, is Christmas. She would scream at us, but they were still fun. We would still she'd be like, make a list of the things you want. And then you would give her the list, and then she'd be like, you're not getting that. You away. And then, 2 years, she'd be like, why'd you put that on there? You'd be like, I don't know, because I'm a child and it's a thing I want.
Yeah, I have no concept of money.
Yeah. And then I'm 7 and I saw it on TV yesterday. Anyway, my mom at one point told a church, like a local church, she was like, hey, we don't have the finances to have a good Christmas this year, and I really want to give a good Christmas for my kids. Can you help out? And this church was like, yeah, we can we actually keep a fund for that. We can donate, we can buy gifts. Like, what do they like? How many kids do you have? What, are they boy, girl? What's going on? And so she did that. And then the church came by and they dropped off all the gifts, and I had to help them. She's like, I'm sorry, it's not gonna be a surprise. She's saying in front of the group, I'm sorry, it's not gonna be a surprise, but this is Christmas. Thank these people. And so I'm thanking them and stuff. And I helped them set up all the bags and stuff like that. And she's like, thank you guys so much. You're so kind. Thank you. And then she closes the door and she turns to me and she goes, hide them. And then I have to help her hide all these gifts in her closet. And then, we get a knock at the door and she opens up and it's a different church.
Oh no, dude, that's diabolical.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And then they come in and they put down all the gifts, and it's the same thing. Oh, it's not going to be a surprise. Thank the people. And then I go oh, thank you so much. She went to every church, and then they leave, and then she goes, hide them. And then we did that 2 or 3 times.
Dude, I'm doing this. I'm going to have kids.
Dude, it was the craziest Christmas I've ever had.
Good.
It was so crazy, dude.
Oh my God.
And my mom is a Christian.
No, she's not.
Dude, she's a capitalist first.
That's wild.
Dude, yeah. That was I remember I was 9. That was the crazy. We never did that again. But that Christmas we did that, and it was an amazing Christmas, dude. I got so much stuff.
That's good.
It ripped. Those gifts were the gifts I had for years. It was awesome. Cool. Oh, I had well, we can either move from that or, we can do a fun one. We'll do this one. Do you have a secret you can share?
A secret? There's no secret. There's a fun story though.
Okay.
It's not really a secret because it's in the news. When I was in high school, I was tripping on acid with a buddy of mine.
Okay.
We get bored at some point and go back home to my place. And me and my mom have a roommate at the time. He's this very cross-eyed Asian man named Justin Zong. I'm giving his name because you can look him up, audience. He wants me and my buddy to go get him some alcohol, and we could split it with him. But we're neither of us are 21 yet, so he gives me his wallet and his ID. This cross-eyed Asian man gives me his ID to buy alcohol while I am tripping on acid. So I take his wallet and I go to Walmart, and they let me buy alcohol with it. And then I never give his wallet back to him because I forget.
You are Justin Zong?
I have Justin Zong's wallet for the next. I had it forever. I just lost it at some point. And I would buy alcohol with it. And he had very cross eyes and was incredibly Asian in the picture. But I bought alcohol for several years with this ID. And then shortly after we move, my mom goes to jail. My mom gets arrested she gets evicted.
Yeah.
She goes to jail shortly afterwards.
Uh-huh.
Justin Zong disappears. I still have his ID. I'm buying alcohol with it.
Yeah.
Regularly. I'm constantly buying alcohol with this Asian cross-eyed ID. It says Justin Zong, and it's clearly not me. And no one questions it, not even a single time.
That's awesome.
And then he does something fucked up and gets chainsawed to pieces and left in a trash bag. And I still had his ID. Was still buying alcohol with it after he was murdered. You can look it up. Justin Zong. Justin Zong, Eaton, Georgia.
I did not expect him to get chainsawed.
Chainsawed to pieces by meth heads. I think he stole from them. I don't really remember.
Oh my God. And then
but I still had it.
No, I'm Bradley Loggins.
He pulls out my ID. They're like, wait, you're 17. That's the closest thing there's not much of a secret. I've tried to talk about that on stage before, but it's just so crazy.
It's a lot of build up for a man to get chainsawed.
Chainsawed to piece. When that was his ending, that was how
dude, how did you find out about him getting chainsawed?
The friend I was tripping with told me.
Wait, while you were buying it? Wait,
no, way later. Way
huh?
later, I just still knew my buddy.
Oh, and he found out.
He told me because Justin was crazy. He had I knew because whenever they moved out, Justin took our dogs.
Oh no.
Justin took our dog because my mom didn't take care of them. And I didn't take care of them. I didn't want them either. So Justin had them. He goes to jail for some other crime. The dogs get taken to an impound and put down. And then a few months later, I found out Justin was killed. They went to the impound. They went to the pound. They went to the impound. They got towed away. They got taken to the pound and then they got put down. And
Jesus,
because they didn't hold them long. I think I heard about it. They got put down 24 hours. Because we got those two dogs because at one point my mom was dating this man who had a very well-trained dog. And then we got another puppy. And that when you have a well-trained dog, it'll kind of train the other one. They kind of I guess. I don't know if I have any. I mostly have cats. But the first pup we had never needed any training.
Oh, hold on, there's a mosquito about
it. It took very little training because this one dog was trained very well.
Whoa.
They both died very shortly. The puppy got hit by a car.
Oh, Jesus.
Then the other one just died of old age.
Jeez.
It just got really old and sick. But then we got two young pit bull puppies at the same time and then never trained them.
Oh,
they were the worst. But Justin came in and beat the shit out of them and they stopped acting up. I don't condone animal abuse, but he threw him against the wall a couple times, and they stopped doing that.
I am gonna keep that in. Oh, this is a great question that I asked Weaver last time. How do you feel like you affected your parents? So obviously we've talked about how they've affected you, but how do you feel like you affected them?
My dad and most of my family assumed I was gay most of my childhood, and I don't think that's their fault. I pick my actions.
Also, just to let you know, because it's gonna have cut back from now, but I got music made to be an interstitial between stuff. And so I wanted to do a camera reaction that would then, it's going to play music, and then the audience will have just come back from that.
There you go.
And so you will not hear what that is until after this, where I'll play it for you. But
There you go.
it's going to be very funny. It's going to be very funny. We got to keep this a little lighthearted. I thought you were gay.
I was so bad at sports and like not interested. It wasn't that I wasn't interested in women. It was that my first crush, when I told my mom and sister about it, they made fun of me so harshly that I just never spoke. I just never spoke about women again.
Yeah.
And was bad at sports. So my dad assumed I was gay and was very upset about this. And so as far as affecting my parents, I feel like I really made my dad's homophobia really was just like strengthened by the fact that I was the gay little boy.
Yeah. Here's my impression of him when he finds out he's having a boy. Here's my impression when he finds out you're bad at sports.
Right.
Dude, this thing rips. This works every time. I don't know. I might have told you this, but I was hanging out for my friend's birthday, and we were just watching Lord of the Rings with like a big group, and I brought this and told nobody. And then as we're sitting there, we're getting to the scene where Gandalf is fighting the Balrog, and then he says, "Fly, you fools." And as the Balrog grabs him and pulls him down, I just go, it murdered in that room. Yeah, the slide whistle is to make things also a little bit more lighthearted. I want to get more sound effects. I want to get like a little clacker. I want to get things. I looked up an Awooga car horn sound, but the only one you can find is an actual car horn, which if I had would sound like a car was literally honking right here. And so it would be exceptionally loud. Would not work.
Fill a balloon full of rice and just shake it.
Oh, what does that sound like? Okay, yeah. I'll just clip that and then just use that.
That's a good clip.
Just like even then that's the sound effect I use from now on in every episode.
Time something happens.
Yeah, I don't see. That's the thing is that my mom was also very homophobic. I don't know what it is about bad parents and homophobia that really ties to
very easy. It just makes life so much easier when you have a target.
Yeah,
when you have a specific people to hate, it makes life really easy.
Thinking about that, I've never met a bad parent who's like, I'm chill with everybody.
Right. Oh, because they're not chill.
Yeah. They're like, I'm loving and accepting of every single other person that is on here.
You're just not good enough.
Yeah. I just really want to hit my kid.
You're just fucking stupid.
Yeah. That's the thing is they're telling this to their 7-year-old. They're just like, I love gay, trans, POCs. I love them all. I don't like you.
The fact that you're dyslexic, though, too much.
Yeah. You're really bringing me down.
Your fucking vibe is sergeant and mellow, dude.
Dude, that's the thing is that I feel like in my own house, I could not hang.
You know, I never hung.
Yeah.
Growing up, I never felt like I was hanging.
Dude, my sister and my brother felt like they could hang with my mom. I didn't feel like I was hanging. I felt like I was treading water every single time.
Right. I mean, the thing is, that was a little different. Growing up, we all felt like we were You're just tiptoeing over glass.
Yeah.
Everybody was tiptoeing over, even like the ones that I was tiptoeing on glass around people that were also tiptoeing on glass.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's because if they upset you at all, then you're like, I almost stepped on glass, you know?
Right. No, it's like I'm tiptoeing around glass with my mom. She's tiptoeing with her dad. Everyone's tiptoeing around glass for my father.
Yeah.
It's all just everyone's making sure he's not fucking losing his absolute.
And then once he was gone, was everybody tiptoeing less? Or do you feel like you
tiptoeing less, depending on who my mom is dating.
Oh, that sucks.
Right. At that point, it became who. But like for most of them,
think you're gay.
Right. Looking back, they were just being ironic. It was mostly they'd make jokes. These guys, they'd make jokes about me being gay because they knew it was a funny thing. They knew it was a funny thing that like, oh, everyone thinks this kid's gay. Really, he's just a loser.
That sucks, man. Because that's like, it's like, hey, this is my family. This has been years of a vibe.
You're being meta calling me gay. Yeah.
They call you gay and you're like, you fucking hack.
Yeah, you fucking hack. They've been doing this since I was fucking 3, dude.
When they do it, it's ironic. When you do it, you're just being...
Mimi believes it.
I disappoint them. You are just rude.
Right. You know I'm just bad at sports.
Dude, my mom at one point, I don't know what happened, but in 2007, I think was the year it came out. We're in my mom's bedroom and she goes, what movies do you guys want to see at the movie theater? And it was just in the zeitgeist. I had no idea what the concept of the movie was. I had only heard the name, but I just yelled out like Brokeback Mountain. And my mom goes, what are you? And then she calls me the slur. And then I'm immediately feeling a burning white hot sensation in my body of shame. And then I'm like, I don't know what just happened. I just said a phrase I've heard before, that I've heard as a movie.
This is a punchline. It was probably already a punchline.
Yeah.
It was already a punchline for a gay movie, and you just thought it was just a movie people wanted to see.
Yeah. Sorry, I like Quality Story. Yeah.
I've heard it's good.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry, it's Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay.
I'm 8 and it's gotten to me. All right. This is in the zeitgeist.
My teachers are talking about it. Okay. And I'm gabbing with them on the courtyard and trust. Okay. Okay, sister.
I don't relate to other boys. I hang out with the teachers.
Dude, honestly, that's how I was as a kid. I was hanging out with the teachers a lot.
In high school, I would like leave lunch with my tray and go sit with another teacher in their classroom.
And then you still got expelled.
Yeah, no, I was like
crazy.
I had scholarships. I was like
really
good student.
Wow.
Once I learned to damn read, I got on top of it.
Dude,
I had scholarships and hope. And then I just had hell and hope.
Where were you supposed to go for college then, initially?
I don't know. I don't know if I even made it that far. If I made it as far as doing all that.
Yeah.
I was always very bad about knowing how to actually do those things. I can do school.
Yeah.
I can study and like pass a test.
You ADHD?
Very.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't know like what school I was going to. Once I got into college, I got my GED and went to school.
Yeah.
Then even then I was like, I was in pre-nursing, took marine biology. I don't know what the fuck. Like I never knew what the hell was going on. I'm
ADHD, and if somebody just jingles keys, you'll be like, oh, I'm an engineer now.
Yeah, I enjoy science. I'll fucking take this class.
Do you think do you know what you would study now if you went back or no?
I'd probably get back into pre-nursing. Get back into nursing school. Just because you can get like any healthcare degree and job, you can like emigrate easier. You can go to like any country.
Oh yeah,
as far as
you're a healthcare.
You're a healthcare. You can get anywhere. And also I'm like good at that. That kind of science and like caring for people. Yeah. I'm good at. I could very much
doing that for a while.
I was a CNA in high school. That's like a nursing assistant. I worked in a hospital.
Well, I was also saying as well with your mom, is that like,
that's why I also did it. She was a nurse. And so I like saw that.
Oh yeah. She's a nurse too. Yeah. Of course that makes sense.
She was a nurse. My grandma was a nurse. I think her mom was also a nurse.
Yeah. You could easily be a nurse.
Yeah. No, that's what I was doing at school. And in high school, I was taking like college courses. Like I took the AP and all those. And so I got my CNA license and like a bunch of credits for pre-nursing in high school. And so
Do those count if you get a GED still?
I got it before I got expelled.
Well,
I just had college credits. They count though.
Okay, cool. I
just had college credits. So I was working like in junior and senior year. I was working the night shift at a hospital.
Whoa.
And then I would go from night shift to school to marching band practice after school
to the night shift.
The night shift. I don't remember when I slept. I just was working and going to school.
Dude, at that point, like, your mom's got to see you come home every like 4 days and be like, was he on meth?
Right. No, that's
crazy.
And like she was the charge nurse, so she was just my manager sometimes.
That's crazy.
Because we were to the same hospital, me and my mom.
Dude, that's insane. Where did you sleep?
I would sleep in class. I would sleep at home too. Because I didn't work every day. I worked like 3 or 4 days a week.
Okay, still that's a lot, especially in high school.
Yeah, and I would also work after school sometimes, but not late, not night shift, but like evening as well.
Yeah,
I would just switch back and forth between evening and night a lot.
Also to the point of like being like, oh, I hadn't planned that far ahead yet. A lot of the times when people grow up in really unstable households like that, you just kind of think like it's just natural that people start to think like, I'm gonna die young. I'm not gonna live old age.
I did not think I would live past 21.
Yeah,
like it was so like understood that I was gonna be dead that when I got to 23, I was like, this wasn't supposed to be here. This wasn't supposed to happen already.
I turned 30 in 5 months, and I remember being 17 and telling people like, yeah, I'm not gonna live to 30. And then eventually I literally told them, I think I was like, yeah, I'm gonna die in my 20s for sure. And then, or I think at the time I was also telling people like, I'm going to die at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to.
The joke number was 22, I think. 21 or 22 for me.
Yeah. I never said like, I'm going to end my life or anything like that. I was like, no, circumstances are just going to come about.
Something's going to happen. I'm just going to be dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That like, it's not that I don't want to. I'm not planning anything. I'm not doing anything. I just believe that with how bad things have been.
Looking around, the people that keep dying are dying at this age.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many people died growing up, but like so many people just died.
For me, it was my grandma died at 54 when I was 3. And then my uncle died at 39 when I was 13. And so only
old people for the most part.
Only 39. Only 2 big.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. Only
for like my age at the time when I was making these decisions, 39 is old.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But 39, yeah. So I keep in mind like 2 deaths, like they were people I was close to. I was very close with my grandma. Even though I was only 3, is that like my mom would go to work and I would stay at my grandma's, but my grandma would watch me while she was gone. And so one of my very first memories is my grandma's house, walking up the stairs and then seeing her 2 chihuahuas, Max and Cujo. And so I was very close with my grandma. I spent a lot of time with my grandma in the first few years. And then my uncle was like the funny guy of the family. He was the funniest person in our family. He's a real prankster. And he died very young, so that was really sad for me. And so it wasn't that I was like, oh, everybody keeps dying. It was more of like, I don't see any point where my life gets good.
Same. That's also very much what.
Yeah. And so then it was like, I'm for sure gonna die. And then I went to college, and I was just in college, and I was just doing college for no real purpose. And then eventually I decided to do stand-up, and then that's where I was like, okay, well, I'm at least going to plan for this. And then eventually I went to therapy, and then even still up until only a few years ago, probably 2 years ago, I was like, oh yeah, I'm dying at 34.
Right.
It literally wasn't until 2 years ago that I let that go.
Will you like understand you'll die at like a ripe old age of 47?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But no, it's like, okay, I don't need to determine what age I'm going to die at. I'm just going to keep going and just keep going.
Right. Because for me, it's been like 6 months where I've been like, oh, life is stable now.
Yeah, dude. It's
like
crazy.
Even like starting stand up, the only reason I started stand up is my roommate at the time was just so bad. It was just so uncomfortable being home, which is such a normal experience for me, just like not wanting to be home, that I just went out and discovered open mics. Because if you don't want to be home,
Crazy.
if you don't want to be at home, stand up comedy is for you.
Dude,
you never have to be home.
To be such a bad hang that somebody chooses the worst hobby to start.
Dude. I mean, I always enjoyed stand up and I was very good at writing.
Oh, I love stand up.
Before getting expelled from school, I was like being a published writer. Like I had the Georgia Writers Museum trying to publish my like short stories in high school before I got expelled.
That's crazy.
And then I got expelled and they were like, we don't want your shit no more, kid.
Yeah.
You're homeless.
Drunk.
Right. So you're bad news. Exactly. I didn't get expelled, and then like 6 months later, before school ended, the yearbook committee reached out to me and had me finish some of the essays for the pages.
Wow.
I was full ass expelled, still writing for the yearbook.
So you couldn't get like admitted to any other high schools or anything like that?
There was some sort of options that I was told about. And I might have been able to do like alternative school at the same high school. But I got expelled from school and like my mom left the town. She like ran off. And so I'm like living in my car.
Yeah. And you don't know how to solve that.
Right. I'm like living in my car. Like, okay, so I guess I could go to alternative school and still be in high school or get a job and be homeless on my friend's couch.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, well, what do you do? So I just did that. Until I eventually moved in with my great-grandmother, worked for my grandpa at his heating and air company, got my GED, and went back to college. Went to school.
Everything's looking up.
Everything was looking up. I lost 200 pounds. I got laid a couple times.
Yeah.
I went to therapy. Right? Went to therapy, realized therapy's not good if you're broke. You need money. If the problem is you don't have money, therapy is not fixing your problems.
And that's the message of today's episode, you guys. If you're broke, don't even bother.
Don't give up. If you're broke, give up. Therapy's not gonna fix it.
We do have to call it because I think my phone's about to overheat.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about there. This has been a wonderful episode. Comment if you enjoyed it. I think this was a slightly more fun, better format than the first one. The second one, any viewers, please, I'm so sorry.
That was bad. I tried to watch it. We were terrible.
Anyway, we're gonna call that here. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.